Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? All right, that was my music intro. Oh, I've got a couple of other videos recorded, but I'm gonna make this one today, and I'm gonna upload it today. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, yeah. So right after I make this video, I'm going to upload it also. Right? Right. Okay. Right. If you have watched my videos or my page and think, wow, this guy is too much, just know that I understand. I go through bad spells when I make bad choices and I get angry. I have my bad days and my good days, but the better days are ahead. And I'm sure so are bad days too, right? You got to have the good with the bad. My main purpose and goal is for the betterment of anybody that wants to improve their own lives and the planet as a whole. I have always thought globally. I'm not saying this to like put myself on a high horse or a pedestal. But since I was a kid, I always viewed we were taught magic as kids, but not why there's magic. And I think that's why I rebelled. But anyway, as a kid, I always viewed the world as this like utopia. I would love that. And I'm willing to put in the effort and the commitment and all that to try and make that happen. It's just we've got so many bad actors out here, right? And there's a lot of other stuff that happens in between that. Crashes, accidents, illnesses. And so we were a little naive when we were young, obviously. This video will act as sort of a redemptive video where hopefully I can recapture some of the attention of my viewers. The one or two of you that check in. even if that's one or two. I do appreciate dialogue and I do appreciate insights. However, I can spot manipulation and deception and what I describe or define evil as 100 steps ahead. So just tread lightly. I'll try to do the same. And if you have any questions or you want to like do dialogue, shoot at me. I am all for productive dialogue. I'm not people like to say constructive criticism and then shut down any. Well, I get that. I get shutting down opposing views if you know what you know to be true, and then. But it's a different story because a lot of people shut down constructive criticism not because what they hear is true, but because what they hear they don't want to hear, right? So anyway. So hopefully that's kind of the intro of this video. Let's see here. We're at 3 minutes 40 seconds and counting. My first topic. That intro was really my first kind of topic, but my second topic is it seems like all I've done is try to heal from things I never wanted to do or be a part of in the first place. Essentially being in a war I didn't start but that I have to fight. That's a quote from Joe Jordan. You guys should check him out. He's a pretty good artist, and I think he's from Colorado. Mingling in the narrative, thoughts, beliefs, and opinions of others has been really damaging. How whole foods and exercise and proper lifestyle choices helped me to heal. So yeah, eating clean and exercising, just keeping those things on the forefront, and movement. As I said, I think in one of my previous videos, one of the key principles that I live by is movement. You can't get complacent out here. You just can't. Oh yeah, here's another one of my topics. It's one of my truest desires, ironically, considering my tangents, was to create and live in a sort of utopia or heaven on earth. I had the image of a magical world since I was a kid. I know that's probably not possible, but it's a deeply rooted desire I've always had. And if you have those kinds of desires, you have to learn how to fight for them and defend them as well. That's just the tragic truth of the reality that we live in. So even thoughts and opinions, if you have thoughts and opinions or beliefs or whatever, and you're not willing to fight for those, consider them trash, because somebody will fight you for your beliefs and your opinions and your views. Unfortunately. Okay. Another topic. If you find it extremely difficult to change the way that you think, especially if you're being asked or required to, quote unquote, or parentheses, military, law enforcement, paramilitary groups, try tweaking your environment or your routine. This can apply to like college students as well. College students that feel really miserable, bogged down, weighed down. Try to incorporate more comfort stuff into your routine. More smelly good stuff. More steam baths, more steam showers. Just things that make you feel better. But I like to say that we have an internal battery that the more that we place on ourselves, no matter how many creature comforts we give ourselves, if we keep piling on responsibility onto our shoulders, some people have a capacitor that blows and doesn't allow that. Some people have a larger capacitor and can take really high, large amounts of stress and responsibility. I used to be one of those people over here, but as I get older, I'm kind of over here where I really try to balance out what I think is important work that I do and creature comforts. It's a really tough balance to get down. But anyways, if you find it difficult to change the way you think or feel, try tweaking your environment or routine. Humans do have I just said that. So, when you tie and attach your identity to somebody else, to somebody else's psychology, you will become one. It's kind of like marriage. But if either party has a deficit or a corrupted neural pathway, if you will, in thinking, doing, or being, the other party will have to suffer to make that union work. So, this is why I preach, as you get older, you will experience this. As you mature, you will understand and learn this, that the values that you hold, the things that you hold dear, things that you want, you have to surround yourself with people that want the same thing. And just know that in this world, other people are more than willing to try to attack you to take away from that. So if you're going to unionize with somebody or some group, make sure that both of you are in lockstep with what you're fighting for, with what you believe in, with what you like, with what you're doing, how you're moving in the world. Because if one party, and it's a catch-22, because in this day and age, if you're not in a party that's willing to commit violence for the sake of sovereignty and freedom and defending what you love, I have my days where I'm willing to do that, and I have days where I'm not willing to do that. So there's a medium there too. But there's a lot of groups out here that don't listen to that medium, that are more than willing to bring the heat 24/7, so to speak. And I know this all sounds cliche and corny and ironic, but it's true. And I'm not really one to think about good and bad. I'm sort of putting right and wrong to the side and really just living by the compass of truth. Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Up until this time, we're at 9 minutes, coming up on 10. I do have a couple more topics, quite a bit more topics, but I don't know that I'll cover them all here. Another one is I have aged and matured and learned and have grown, I have learned how important it is to, give just as much as you take. Not everybody's going to be able to do that all the time. Which is why it's important to learn how to create on a larger scale, on a bigger scale. I'll just leave that topic there. Learn how to give more than you take if you can. It's not always going to be possible. Okay, if you feel angry, process that emotion. If you feel happy, process that emotion. Even more than that, capitalize on it. Why? Especially if you find yourself angry or happy on a day-to-day basis or frequently, or it's an emotion that you don't want to feel or that you're not okay with, capitalize on that. Attack it. Go after it. Go after the reason why you're being angry. If you can't seem to escape how you feel, there's a deeper problem or issue that needs resolved. Okay, here's a little political topic for you guys. Left-wing and right-wing ideologies will often use terms like, and this is both sides, like two sides of the same bird, right? Left, right, Republican, Democrat, up at the top, they're all just working to attack what's below them. Both sides. Understand that. It's not a left or a right issue. It's not a red or a blue issue. It's not a Democratic or a Republican issue. Unless you want it to be. You can place yourself in one of those cult categories. That's fine. I'm just saying what it is. But left-wing and right-wing ideologies will often use terms like incel or conspiracy theory instead of understanding the truth and history behind these terms, because it is easier to project ignorance and insecurity than research and study history and understanding and the why behind things. Okay? So there's a long-standing belief that the term, well, it's kind of backed by some evidence. I've looked it up, but the term conspiracy theory was actually supposedly created by the CIA, which would make sense back in the 1900s, late 1900s. And so these groups, these large groups and organizations and intel agencies and stuff like that, they understand how powerful labels are. And repeating those labels over and over and over and over, it's a sort of psychology. I don't know if it's Freudian or not, but when you use these labels and topics and you do things over and over and over and over and you repeat those constantly, people will attach themselves to that. They will attach their identity to that. They'll attach their anger to that. They'll attach whatever. If you repeat it enough, and it's a way for people to scapegoat and use others to get out of their own misery. Okay, so as much as I hate labels, they're used by intelligence agencies to make you discredit the truth. And it's ideologies, or it's terms like incel and conspiracy theory. Okay? People would call me an incel for speaking on topics like this because I want to get the truth out, which is fine. But just understand the psychology behind that is deceptive in nature. Instead of calling things conspiracy theories that we don't understand or agree with, research those things. Understand what's the psychology behind those things and why people are standing up for it or defending it or attacking it or whatever. Do your own research and fix your own way of thinking, okay? So just, you can buy it, again, you can buy into the labels, you can buy into the left-wing and the right-wing ideologies, you can buy into the terms conspiracy theory and incel. That doesn't necessarily make you a better person by buying into it unless you understand why things like this are being said and used, okay? Out here on my Goggins stuff, I got an 8-mile run in this morning. That's almost a third of a marathon. We're out here getting it, y'all. Okay, I'm finding that every generation has an attack mode against another generation, so maybe I'll pick up on that torch. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's right. But you know what? I'm in the millennial generation. And we don't get talked about that much, which I'm so grateful for. But I don't like this idea of attacking other... Okay, I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to leave that topic on the table because I don't exactly understand what it is that I'm trying to get out of what I'm about to say. So, okay. Yeah, I just wrote this one today. The quote-unquote holier than thou people, the collectivist thinkers, the group thinkers, are the most dangerous people on the planet. They will preach love and light in the public and condemn or kill you in the dark. They are the same people that would have ratted their neighbors out to the Nazi regime, but preached loyalty to the media in 1938 and 1939 when World War II was starting. These people are character chameleons. They're professional at changing their views, changing their thoughts and their feelings to get by and to survive for themselves. They are the most selfish and dangerous thinkers on the planet. Collectivist and group thinkers. You have collectivist ideology, you have independent ideology, you have collectivist thinking, and you have independent thinking. And if you can't switch back from each one of those groups, you're operating on a scale that tips the extreme radical character and psychology of a person to one side or the other. If you can't understand collectivist thinking, how important it is, without understanding how important independent thinking is, you are probably part of the problem. Cool. Got that out of the sphere of I don't know. Okay. Well, it looks like we're gonna actually get through all of our topics today. Yeah, I think I said this in one of my other videos, actually, is I have failed more times. I have failed way more than I have succeeded in anything in my entire life. And so why I didn't really pick up on this earlier rather than later and capitalize on it, well, I don't know. Maybe it's ignorance. Maybe it's complacency. And I used to be both ignorant and complacent. Had everything given to me and handed down and, things brought to me on a silver platter for a long time, and I've been really down and out. So like I say, my failure to success rate is probably not 99-1 anymore. My failure to success rate is probably more like 25-1. 25, failures at doing something or getting good at something to the one success that I find in that. And, yeah, so it's improving and it's getting better, but it's a really slow thing. So give yourself grace. What did I put down here on that? I've failed way more than I've ever succeeded. I think it's important to know that as humans, if we don't have something to work on intellectually, I've found this to be true for myself, we almost immediately resort to self-destructive, self-serving behavior. It's like a glitch in the human mind or in the human brain or psychology. What are these goons doing? I think they're checking their tire. People are freaking these days. It's absolutely vital to fix the problems you have in your life without burning out. Right? Right. Fix the problems in your life without burning out. Knowledge is key. There's a lot of key factors in this, but give yourself grace if you're a failure like I am, and capitalize on being a failure and a loser, because it'll make you better. And I think I'll leave that there. I don't have any like or subscribes to tell you to do. I don't have any products or merchandise like everybody else because I'm a loser and a failure. But I have desire, and I have passion, and I have motivation, and I have knowledge, a lot of it. And without saying too much, I'm gonna just leave that there. I think it's been a really awesome video. Here's a cup with ice and water. Now I'm just being stupid, but I really do appreciate everybody. If y'all tuning in, the one or two of you or whoever. Yeah. Okay, time to upload. Thanks for watching. It is December 7th, 2025. We're moving into 2026 here in about 3/4 of a month. So, yeah, let's see what the future brings. For me, it's not looking good, but we're going to keep going. Let's go. Let's get it.